What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise and talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. In today's episode, we're going to call out all the bullshit. We're going to break down the most popular fad diets, keto/low carb, veganism, carnivore, and fasting, and talk about what they get right, but most importantly, why they're not the solution you need for long-term fat loss results. So before I dig in, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. If you like my podcast, if anything's resonated with you, please rate my podcast, share it with family and friends. That helps get this information in front of more people. And my goal is to just help people cut through all the bullshit. So the more people that hear this, the more people that rate the show, the more people it gets in front of. So thank you so much. But now let's dig in. Okay. Fad diet number 1, keto/low carb. This was very popular. It's not as popular as it used to be, but this is the one that I fell for. So I thought that carbs were bad for me while I was a D1 athlete, mind you. So I cut out added sugar first, which was awesome because that tends to cause energy dips and crashes if you're not having a well-balanced meal, and it tends to have a lot of added calories. So I started losing weight doing that. But then I thought all carbs were bad for me. So I would restrict all of them. I did not have rice or pastas or breads. I would stick to vegetables, high fatty foods, and as a D1 athlete, my energy was very low. But when you go on a keto and low carb diet, you experience really quick weight loss because your muscles hold on to glycogen, and glycogen is a carbohydrate. And so if you deplete your body of carbs, if you don't eat carbs and you don't replenish those glycogen stores after exercise, your body won't be able to retain as much water in those muscles, and you'll drop weight on the scale really quickly. And so that's why people think this works, is they go low carb and in a week they can drop 5+ pounds because their muscles aren't holding on to water. They aren't eating carbs, so their muscles aren't retaining glycogen. And so the weight on the scale drops really quickly. And fats in general are really filling. So it does have an appetite kind of suppressing feeling. But right after you lose weight really quickly, quote unquote, the weight loss will plateau because you're not really in a calorie deficit unless you're tracking your calories and making sure that you're consuming less calories than you do on a regular basis. So after that first week or two, most people's weight loss plateaus. And then people realize that carbs are awesome and that they want to eat them again. And so they go back to eating carbs and boom, the scale spikes because their muscles are retaining more water and glycogen. So it's not weight gain. So as I kind of touch on, the biggest problem is it's not sustainable. Most people love carbs. I don't know who doesn't. Carbs are great. Baked potato, fruit, the occasional popcorn or daily popcorn if you're me, bread, pasta. Carbs are delicious. So most people, when presented with the opportunity, will indulge in them. But then that also can lead to a binge and restrict type of mentality. Because if you think carbs are bad for you, if you restrict them, and one day you're presented with the opportunity to have a bowl of pasta, you'll probably overindulge because you told yourself you couldn't have it for so long. And then that next day, you probably beat yourself up and feel bad about it. and then restrict heavily again. And then it's this binge and restrict cycle. The reason I know this is because this is what I did. This is exactly what I did. I would say I can't eat these foods. I wouldn't eat them. Then I'd overindulge, and then I'd feel bad and overdo the exercise and over restrict the next day, and it would continue this cycle. And also, as I touched on previously, carbs are super important for performance and energy levels. Your body prefers carbs as a fuel source, and if you're doing high intensity exercise, your body needs carbs. Technically, they're non-essential, quote unquote, but why restrict when they only provide benefits, right? It's like they give you more energy. Carbs, a lot of whole natural food carb sources contain fiber. It helps your digestion. So carbs are great. You don't need to restrict them. And doing diets like these can create a poor relationship with food. So I'm not a fan. So keto, low carb, debunked. Number 2. This one's going to be really controversial, but veganism. It's only controversial because people who are diehard vegans get really offended when people talk trash about it. But there are some benefits, so I'm going to highlight those. Most people who go vegan, who do it the right way, which is sticking to primarily whole food sources, their energy levels improve and their digestion improves because they're consuming more plants. They're consuming more fiber, which is awesome. We should all be eating more plants, vegetables, and fruits. They're great. But it's really, really difficult to get the essential nutrients, micro and macronutrients that your body needs. Plants are not as nutrient dense as meat. So a lot of people who go vegan who aren't super regimented in supplementation and other things, they miss a lot of iron, omega-3s, B12, and protein in general. Some plants do have protein, but they don't contain all the essential amino acids that our body needs unless you pair them together, like rice and beans together do. But not a lot of people know that. So most people think, oh, a protein is a protein. But plant proteins don't have all the essential amino acids. So you have to pair them together. And then same with the nutrients. It's like plants nowadays, unfortunately, are not as nutrient dense as they used to be because our soil, due to, corporate farming, that's the right way to say it, but our American farming system is not built to regenerate the soil. So we deplete the soil of nutrients and it hasn't been regenerating. So our plants are not as nutrient dense as they used to be because the soil that they're grown in doesn't have the nutrients that it used to have, I guess. So most vegans tend to have mineral deficiencies, vitamin and mineral deficiencies. And it's really, really hard to build muscle and retain muscle if you're not eating a high protein diet. And it's very, very difficult unless you supplement to eat a high protein diet that contains all the essential amino acids that you need. So, totally understand if people do it for ethical reasons. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but if you do, really be regimented and do some research on the nutrients your body needs, how to supplement with them, and how to make sure that you're getting all the essential amino acids, protein intake, and all the things. Because it's really difficult to do that properly. You can, but it's very difficult. And supplement with creatine as well. That has shown to really help vegans have better cognitive function. Okay, veganism debunked. for weight loss specifically. Okay, diet number 3, carnivore. This one was popular the past couple years. It's been really popular. And so some of the benefits, I believe most people have gut health issues. Most people have, quote unquote, a leaky gut, which is intestinal permeability. Basically, it's the lining of your gut is not as strong as it used to be, and things can seep in and out and cause autoimmune reactions and those sort of things. So if you're eating a lot of fiber and you have a leaky gut, that can cause a lot of distress and a lot of autoimmune conditions and other things. So with the carnivore diet, you're just eating meat. Meat is very easily digestible for the most part. There are some people on opposite ends of the spectrum, but that is why most people who go carnivore experience less inflammation, better gut health, and just less bloating in general, because their gut wasn't healthy to start, and now they're just eating something that doesn't, for most people, cause any issues. So it can be beneficial in that way. And there are some gut healing protocols that put people on a meat diet to then reintroduce other foods and see what triggers those autoimmune conditions. So it is beneficial in that way. But there's no fiber. And fiber is so important for brain health, gut health, digestion, just overall longevity. And what I've noticed is, unfortunately, the carnivore diet, and I'm talking about pure carnivore. Now the quote unquote carnivores are eating fruit and honey and dairy and okay, whatever. But I'm talking about what carnivore used to be. And I think the reason they're integrating more fruits and dairy and other things into their diet is because they realized they were missing key important nutrients and things for their health. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the carnivore just meat is not sustainable long term. It's like, how do you go out to eat with friends or go to potlucks or go on vacation? I mean, when I go out to eat, I don't do it very often. When I do, it's like there's not a lot of options there. It's like, okay, especially in Utah. Utah is like primarily fast food. You're going to go to like a burger place and just order 2 patties. It's like most people don't have the willpower to do that. But it also creates fear around other foods. Like people demonized vegetables. Vegetables are great for you. Like that's absolutely absurd. So, carnivore debunked for weight loss. And number 4. This one is probably the one I've noticed that causes the most poor relationship with food and other hormone issues. Fasting. Fasting is terrible for sustainable fat loss. It just is not great. And it can cause a whole slew of other issues. Fasting is great for detachment from worldly things and for spiritual growth and in that sort of way. But fasting for weight loss is terrible. And one of the biggest issues I've seen, and I did this, I thought I had to fast for cell autophagy and all that crap. And not only did it propagate my hormone issues, like it continued my hormone issues, but it also created a really unhealthy relationship with food because I would it's a fasting. It's like, oh, you don't eat for 24 hours or you fast until 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon and you have 1 or 2 big meals or whatever. That would cause like a binge and restrict type of mentality. Because I would restrict, I wouldn't eat, and I would be starving by the time my lunch, breakfast, afternoon meal came around, and I would overdo it. It would cause digestive distress, bloating. I would feel bad because I was so starving that I overdid it. And then it would continue that cycle, binge and restrict, binge and restrict. And restricting food is a stress on the body. It increases cortisol. So it really can mess with female hormones, more specifically. There don't seem to be as many detrimental effects to the male hormone profile, but for women, it really negatively impacts our hormones. But really, why this works is it's simple. It's simple and it helps you manage your calorie intake. Because if you're only eating in a 4 or 5 hour window every day, that's more extreme case. There's some people that do one meal a day, which is absolutely absurd. But if you're only eating in a small window, it's really hard to overconsume unless you eat to discomfort. So that's why it works, right? It helps you manage your portions, reduce your overall calorie intake. But it's not magical. It doesn't create cell autophagy. We don't eat when we sleep. So it's like we fast every night, right? You don't need to wait 12 to 16 hours to eat your next meal or whatever the common saying is now. So you don't need to fast. You don't need to do carnivore. You don't need to be vegan. You don't need to go low carb to lose weight. The real reason these often work for people is they're in a calorie deficit. Temporarily. When they start. Because like if you go carnivore and you're eating fast food all the time, it's like, oh, just eating meat, it's really satiating. It's really hard to overdo. And you're not eating a bunch of processed crap that's easy to overindulge in. Same with vegan. It's like, oh, you're vegan. You're probably eating more fruits and vegetables. They're a lot lower calorie than, well, unfortunately, a lot of fast food is vegan. Chips and Oreos are apparently vegan. Same with the keto and low carb. It's like you're restricting entire food groups, so it makes it harder to overconsume. But now there's a lot of like keto snacks and stuff. And so those are like fat bombs. Like it's like, oh, low carb, low keto, a 500 calorie tiny piece of chocolate. It's like, okay, that's stupid. And same with like fasting. It's like you're restricting the amount of food that you can consume on a daily basis. So that's why they work. But they're so restrictive and not realistic for most people to sustain long term because they're not designed for real life. So most people give up or fail unless they do it for an ideological, ethical reason, like for veganism. The only people I've seen continue to be vegan that don't do it for weight loss are people who ethically believe in not eating animals or using animal sources. Those are the only people I've seen maintain long term. So you don't need to suffer to lose weight. You need a plan. You need a plan that supports your goals, supports your metabolism, helps you upgrade your mindset, and that works for your life. If you've tried one of these diets and felt like a failure when it didn't work, you're not the problem. The diet is. I've been there. I've done that. I totally get it. So if this hit home, if this resonated with you, if you have a family member or friend who wants to try one of these diets, please share this with them. If you like this episode, please rate and review my podcast. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to book a consultation call, the link will be below. I've also got some free resources linked in the show notes. But really, I'm just doing this to help people. So please share this with family, friends, whomever. Post it on your social media. And yeah, I've been there. I've done that. So no judgment here. But if this resonated with you, share and reach out. I'd be happy. And if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. So anyway, that's it for the Fit Habit Life podcast today. And I will see you next time. Peace.